Hey everybody, welcome back to Malts and Meeples and to Top 100 Games of All Time 2025 edition. Excuse my voice, it's going a little bit. But we are going for 30 through 21 this time. And according to my list, there are 4 new games on the list. I can confirm that these are legit 4 new games. Now, not all of them are necessarily new, like 2025 games. Some of these are slightly older than that just really. And this is the year that I started playing them. So let's get going here with number 30. Number 30 is one of the new games, and not a new game, but it's Space Space. Space Space takes what you can find in some other games, like there's one that's around farming, My Little Farm Shop, or Little Farm Shop, something like that. My Farm Shop, My Farm something. And then probably better known Machi Koro. Foodies also does the same thing, where you're rolling dice and it's activating spots on your board. Then when you roll on your turn, you activate. When your opponent rolls, you activate some stuff here. In this case, you're creating spots for numbers 1 through 12, and you decide based off of the 2 dice that are rolled, do I want to say activate 8, or do I want to activate 2 and 6? If I rolled a 2 and 6 to get a 12. When I activate on my turn, I activate only the active spaceships. Those either give you money, points, or a permanent income boost, but no money with that one. So I'm always going to have some stuff to activate on my turn. However, anytime I upgrade one of those rockets that I have, and I can buy 1 card per round, if I upgrade one and then I roll, say I upgrade the 1, I take the card that was on the 1, I flip it upside down and slot it in behind it. And then you roll, or your opponent rolls. And those ones that are slotted in upside down, however many you have slotted in upside down, because you could have multiple. Say I could have on the 1, I could have one that gives me 1 coin, one that gives me 1 victory point, another one that gives me 3 coins, let's say. So if my opponent rolls a 1, I can activate that 1 spot and get 4 coins and 1 point in my example. And it's a race to who can get to 40 points first. So there's definitely some luck with it in terms of how the dice go as they're rolled, but also some strategy to it, because you can build up a kind of plan for, okay, I'm just going to go 6 and below, and just really build those up. Yeah, it's probably less money, less points than if I was on a higher one, but I always know that I'm going to get 2 numbers that are 6 and below. And let's say I stack up 4 really well. So I roll that 8 again, or my opponent rolls that 8, but it's a 4 and a 4. I activate 4 twice. So there's definitely strategies and different ideas behind it that just work really well. The game also has some expansions. I don't have any of those, but this is one that I've had a lot of fun with on Board Game Arena and a lot of fun with in person. Number 29, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get my hands on in person yet, and I need to play it more, again, on BGA. Why is it on 29 if I need to play it more? Because I played it a ton, and I absolutely think that this is a phenomenal game. So this is really simple. You have a 2x4 grid, 8 cards. The 4 cards in the center So top row and bottom row, those middle two cards, those are going to score those are going to be the scoring cards that score your grid of cards. The one on my left scores the opponent on the left. So the two cards on the left, two cards on the right score the opponent on the right. It's all about who can make the highest scoring combination. And it could be like, okay, well, interesting options there. Like, how does this work? Are you swapping these cards out? You start out with all of them face down. You flip one of them over, and that kind of is your seed for how you're going to strategize for the game. And then there's a market of 4 cards. You will take a card from that market on your turn, and you will replace one of your face down cards. That face down card flips up into the market. There are certain colors that are more common. There are certain creatures that are more common, and those are potentially going to give you less points. But potentially, if I build it up correctly, say fish. I don't remember if fish are one of the more common ones. I think they are. I could get 8 fish or 7 fish, let's say, in my grid, and have one card that scores fish at 2 points apiece. That's 14 points. That's a lot. But I could also then chase frogs that are worth 5 points. Or I can maybe chase orange colored cards that could be worth 5 points or 4 points. I forget what it is. But it's about how you want to push and how you want to interact with that center market. Because sometimes you might look and go, well, the person to the left of me, they're going to go next. And they have been collecting a ton of, or I've been collecting a ton of pink cards. That card's going to score pink. I've already filled in my middle section, so I can't take it to score for myself, but I don't want them to have it because that's going to be a lot of points. Can I get some points by taking it? So there's a little bit of paying attention to what your opponent does. Not too much, thankfully. And even when you're paying attention to what your opponent does, a lot of times it's like, I just need to score better than you. And it just works really nicely. Ton of fun. So number 13 last year, 17 year before, 28 this year, we have one of my favorite deck building games, Xenoshift Onslaught. Xenoshift is a cooperative tower defense deck building game. And it does some interesting things. First off, kind of how the game works is you build up your deck, you put out your troops, and those troops battle bugs who are coming to destroy your base. Everybody has a part of the base they're defending. If the bugs get through your part of the base, they start hitting the main base, and that's going to be how you lose the game. And to defend your part of the base, you're putting out up to 4 troops. There are a couple things with this that I think just work so well. Firstly, you always get money. So you draw your hand of, I forget what it is, 7 cards, it might be. You draw your hand of cards, and then I think it's 6 cards you draw, and then you add another money to that hand. So when you're facing the first couple waves, or first 3 waves, you just add a 1 coin, because all the troops cost 1. But as you hit that second set of enemies, waves 4 through 6, you get a 3 in your hand. And you can always dig through your discard pile once you hit that second set of waves and pull out 3 1s and put in a 3. So it allows you to keep a clean, efficient deck while always still having some money to spend. Then the other thing I love is how cooperative this game is. So this is a super cooperative deck building game. that potentially could have some alpha gaming to it, but I think they do enough to keep that from happening because you don't know what bugs are attacking different lanes. But say I draw a hand and I draw 5 troops and I have 1 troop left over from the previous round or previous wave in my lane. I'm like, well, I don't need all these troops. And you draw and you get 1 troop and your guys were killed off last time. I can give you 2 troops. I can just straight up give them to you, and they're now part of your deck. They're now part of your hand. Even better. Just like the cards you buy become part of your hand, those cards I give you are now part of your hand, and you can play them into your lane. They will stay with you for the rest of the game. So if I'm, say, running the barracks and defending that area, I get a bonus and potentially being able to buy some of these guys cheaper. Maybe I just buy the guys and I pass them off to you. Like, can we optimize our money that way? Or then there are things like grenades. Grenades are great. You can toss them and potentially take out somebody beforehand. But say you have all the grenades, that's what you've been buying up. You can use them in my lane. You can toss them, blow up one of the bugs in my lane, and it goes to your deck again. So there's just all this interaction between the players that works so well and is so much fun for me. This is not an easy game to beat, but that's okay because it just feels kind of different and challenging as you play. Number 27 is a new one to the list. This one I do feel like maybe will go down a little bit. But One Hit Heroes. One Hit Heroes is going to be a game where you take heroes up against villains. And you need to knock out the villains while managing to not get hit. This is all about kind of hand management, playing out cards, and knowing when to sacrifice a piece of equipment to soak a hit. Because if the hit ever gets through to you, it's over. Like, everybody loses. You can retry again. This is challenging, but a ton of fun in a good way. And it makes you want to come back to it even when you fail and be like, all right, let's try this scenario again. I think we have a better idea of how we want to handle it. Or potentially you're looking and going, you know what, this combo maybe isn't working for me. Let's try some different characters. And I really like how there are enough different characters in here to give you variety. And then it's all about beating those bad guys. You beat a bad guy and kind of finish that scenario. You get a bonus. You get to add a bonus card to your deck. I think swapping a card. I forget how it works exactly. It's been a little bit since I played it, which is why I don't know where this one's going to land next year. I don't feel super confident like, oh, it's going to go higher if I play it more or anything like that. It's a good superhero game where you get to do cool things, but it's not an IP. It has its focus of what it wants to do, and it does it well. And the villains you face off against, the bad guys you face off against, are different and like good and different in good ways. So, from 7 in 2023 to 19 in 2024 to 26 now here in 2025, we have the next one, Planet Unknown. Planet Unknown, this one I need to get played in person again, especially with the Supermoon expansion, just to add a little bit more to it. But this one is about terraforming a planet. That's been done before. There's a game literally called Terraforming Mars. But this one does some unique things. First off, you have the tile placement aspect of it. So you're tile placing, and that's kind of your terraforming, building up the planet. And I like how that works. Like it's a fun puzzle of, okay, do I really want to push for technologies, or maybe I really want to push up civilization, or ooh, I'm on a map that has a whole bunch of asteroids. Let me try and get a bunch, like both my rovers out, and then move in a lot so I can collect those. But there's always different options you can go with. And then, of course, the big draw is the Lazy Susan. This is Lazy Susan is where the tiles are. So as you take your turn, if it's your turn, you spin the Lazy Susan. Not just we spin it. You spin it to the side that you want. And then you pick from one of the two spots kind of in the pie, piece of the pie that's in front of you. You've now given everybody else a piece of the pie as well that they have to take from. And they have to take from one of those two spots in the piece of pie in front of them. So potentially you can prolong the game, because the game ends if somebody can't play, by just turning it so that, yeah, they have an option. If they have an option, they have to do it. Even though it might not be ideal for you, but it could buy you another turn. Or it could be a chance to try and end the game quicker. Or if you're fighting with somebody, you don't actually fight in this, but if you're trying to deal with them to, say, get to a civilization level first, you might take a less than ideal piece that gets you closer to that, just to make sure that they don't get it. And all the different maps, the different kind of corporations, just add so much flavor, and not flavor, but variety, I should say. Variety to the game, and that just makes it feel good and like a unique experience every time, because those combinations can be different every time. I think my number 25 is going to be my top roll and write game on the list. I'm not seeing any others. So we have Paper Dungeons, a dungeon scrawler game. This is, I mean, it's a roll and write that I just love. And it's a bigger roll and write too, because you have one part where you're kind of managing your 4 heroes, leveling them up, getting them equipment, getting healing potions so that if they get injured, and you kind of just have this group pool of health that goes up as they level up. If they get injured, you're able to handle that damage and not costing you points. Then there's, that's kind of that one side. But then there's this whole dungeon piece as well. The dungeon piece, it tells you, draw some lines here, create ways to block paths. And you can go through the dungeon. You can fight monsters in the dungeon based off of dice rolls, like moving around the dungeon. And if you can defeat them, then you are gaining points that way. Plus there's treasures in the dungeon. You can get diamonds that you're racing for, as well as then kind of different boss monsters that you have to make it to. You don't have to, but if you want to get the points for it, you have to fight them before kind of their part of the game comes up. So it's basically split into thirds. And If you can deal damage to them, you're going to get some points. If you deal the most damage to them, you get more points. So it's kind of strategizing through how you want to move about the dungeon while still leveling everybody up. Because, I mean, if the paladin or cleric isn't strong enough, cleric can't beat the cleric monsters, and you have to take damage. Well, cleric will still beat the cleric monsters, but you'll be taking damage. And the more damage you take, like I was talking about, that's cutting down on points as well. So yeah, I just love this one, how it feels. It genuinely feels big for a roll and write game. So, big fan of Paper Dungeons. Number 24, new on the list, the final new one on the list. This one I played through all of this core box here, and I picked up another copy of it, as well as all the expansions for it. This is Kingdom Legacy. Feudal Kingdoms. This core box basically allows you to build up a kingdom. How do you do that? You shuffle up a small stack of cards to start. You flip over 4. You look and see, okay, what resources do I get from those cards? Okay, well, I can spend these 2 resources to flip this card. I flip that card. It's now better. Discard the resources I spent. Discard the card that I upgraded. Draw back up to 4 cards. And that's the game. That's just the management of the game, and it is so slick in what it does. And depending on what you upgrade, who you upgrade, you can get wildly different directions that you go in. There, for example, is an enemy that can go into the deck, and you need enough swords to beat them, or they do something negative. There are weather events that happen, or different things that are going to mess with your deck and how you play the game. And for example, with the enemy, you could have a priest and convert them. If you have the priest, you convert them, and they're now a knight on your side. Or if you have enough swords, you just beat them and you remove them from the deck. Just those different decisions, the different branching, like, do you go into getting a lot of trade goods? Let's say that's one of your scoring things you're going for. Do you shoot for that, or do you shoot for something else? You want to have a ton of military, or so many different pathways. And then the expansions, I haven't played them yet, but I think there's 2 big box expansions. I say big box. The boxes are about that thick and that tall, just enough to fit the deck of cards. And you can continue playing with what you have and kind of move into those. Plus, then there are other smaller expansions that you can add in as well. I got to figure all of that out. But I had so much fun playing it here on Malts and Meeples that I was like, I have to get more. I have to play it again. I want to play it more, just because it is this unique legacy experience that you can truly play and feel like it's legacy solo. Now, I did rip the cards. Even if you don't rip the cards, you're marking stuff, stickering stuff. I guess you could take notes and try and play it again that way, but I think it would lose a little bit of the fun. Dropping 1 spot from 22 to 23 this year, we have my favorite, I believe, betting game. This is also a racing game, but it's really a betting game. Ready, Set, Bet. There's a horse race going on, and you are bettors on that horse race. I love this game because I love calling that horse race, where you're rolling 2 dice, you're moving the horses up the track. You, for example, roll 2 6s in a row. The first time the horse moves 1, the second time it moves 2. You roll a third 6, it moves 1, fourth 6, as long as you follow up a 6 with another 6, or first 6 with another 6, it kind of toggles back and forth. It will go ahead faster. Or if I roll a 2 or a 3, I move it up 1. But if I roll another one, that horse is going to move up like 4 spots. So it's this crazy, swingy racing game where one person, like I said, they're running the race. Now, there's an app that you can use for it as well, but I love playing this game and just running it, calling the races every time, and everybody else is betting on those races. They're around the table putting chips on various horses to win, various prop bets to happen, and I want to say basically every game that I've played of this, some of it's out of necessity to potentially reach everything, but people are standing at the end of a race. You do it over a few races, but at the end of a race, people are standing to see what the person's rolling, to hope that the horse they have bet on is going to win the race and they get paid out more than everybody else. It's a game that, because of that real-time nature of rolling the dice and moving the horses, but also then the betting in real time, there's just this fun and excitement in the game that is hard to replicate in board games in general. Like, I can't think of another... I can think of another game that's going to have you standing up. I believe I talked about it earlier. I think it was towards the bottom part of my top 100, but Project Elite might have just been outside my top 100. We'll have to see. I'm going to do 101 to 200 in a video. Just talk about them super fast. But that one has those moments as well, as the monsters are moving forward, aliens are moving forward, and the players are frantically rolling dice during the 2-minute period to try and drive them back, take out the monsters, as well as then complete objectives. So that's the only other game that potentially gives me the same feeling as Ready Set Bet, and I think Ready Set Bet gives me that feeling in a more fun way. At number 24, up 3 spots, we have Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Now, I have yet to play Terraforming Mars proper. I really do want to get that one played, but Ares Expedition I love. This is which one is it that it kind of uses mechanisms from? But this is, it's still a Mars terraforming game where you're trying to get resources, but it has some fun elements to it. You build out this giant tableau. They're activating different parts of it depending on what portions of the round structure, I guess I should say, are activated, because this is the part that I think is the coolest. You have, I believe it's 5 cards in your hand, and you play out one of those cards. Everybody picks one of them, and you play it out. And in structure order, 1 through 5, you activate the cards that were played out. So in a 3-player game, it's possible that we got a 1-1-4, let's say. Well, we'll activate 1, then we'll activate 4. We don't do steps 2, 3, or 5. And whoever played out a 1, well, everybody gets to do what number 1 is, but those who played out a 1 get a special bonus. In that case, I think it's a discount on playing out cards. And so it just, it's so much fun to build up your engine and get it going in this game. And it's been a while since I played it. I really need to play it again because, yeah, it, like I said, it works so well, and it's so much fun to, at the end of the game, and just have these massive things, massive turns of everything activating, getting you points. The one person I play it with most often, he and I are always neck and neck. I believe that I lead our head-to-head plays like 4-3, and the difference in our points, like average points per game, is I think I'm at 44 and he's at 43 and a half. So it's always super close. Well, not always. Sometimes there's a bit of a gap. We've had it happen both ways, but it's fun to have that game that's kind of consistent like that. Finally, number 21. Number 21 is Hanamakoji. Hanamakoji is not my top two-player game this year. There's one that is higher than it on the list, but I still absolutely love Hanamakoji, and Hanamakoji is one that is so easy to get to the table and just play a couple games of it, or maybe if it's a game that takes a little bit longer, just one kind of to wind down an evening, especially with that one friend who I always play close games of Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition with. But we regularly come back to Hanamakoji, and just the back and forth of trying to give gifts and win the favor of enough geisha is fun. You're trying to win the favor of either 4 geisha, because it's what, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So either 4 geisha, so just over half of them, or 11 points of geisha. So you could win the favor of 4, 5, and a 2. That's 11 points. But that's always calculated at the end of a round. And a round is each player taking 4 actions with the cards in their hand. The first one's real simple. You just put, and you don't have to do these in any order, by the way, but the one they put the number 1 on is real simple. You simply just put a card face down in front of you, and that single card is going to be one that you add to the favor that you're giving out, or the gifts that you're giving out, but only at the end of the round. The next one's pretty similar to that. You put 2 cards down, but those 2 cards are discarded. So that's kind of the information that you have that is hidden. The third one is you put out 3 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Has to do with the number of cards, by the way. 3 cards, put them out face up. Your opponent picks one of those cards, and that one they put on their side next to the geisha who is looking for that gift, and you place the other 2 on your side next to the geisha who are looking for those gifts. Or it could all be the same gift, because there are 5 cards for the geisha who's worth 5 points. So if I have a great hand, great, I could put out 3 of those, just 3 5s. My opponent takes 1, I get 2. I already have the advantage now. Now they have to figure out how to get another 5 on their side without me getting another 5 on my side. Because if I get another 5 on my side, I'm guaranteed to win. But that fourth action is just going to be, I create 2 groups of 2 cards. You can see those 2 groups, and you decide which one of those 2 groups you want to put on your side, and I put the other one on my side. It's so thinky, mainly because you don't have perfect information. There's cards in the deck that are getting drawn each round. There's one card that's not used each round. And then, of course, there's the 3 cards that your opponent has face down that you don't know what they are. And so sometimes it's real fast. One person's able to play it out correctly and gets the win after a single round. Other times it's maybe a couple times back and forth trying to maintain the positioning of the favor tokens that you have while pulling one that's either in the middle or from your opponent's side over to yours. It just works so well for me as a fast 2-player game. So, real quick, let's go 30 through 21 again. We have space-based dice rolling, engine building game, racing to 40 points. Symbios, building out a tableau in front of you that is going to score the best possible based off of what you have as well as what your opponents have. Then we have Xenoshift Onslaught. This one is a tower defense deck building game that is super cooperative. One Hit Heroes is a hero battling villain game where you can't get hit. If you do, you die. Planet Unknown, terraforming with tiles and a fun kind of central system to keep everybody involved, plus cool planets and cool corporations doing it. Paper Dungeons is a roll and write dungeon crawling game of leveling up heroes, fighting monsters, fighting bosses, grabbing loot, and doing all of that to score the most points. Then we have at 24 Kingdom Legacy. This is a deck management game of building up the best kingdom that you can. You can see a full playthrough of Core Box here on Malts and Meeples. Then we have Ready, Set, Bet at number 23, a real-time horse racing betting game that always has people on the edge of their seat or fairly often standing up. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. This is a big engine building game where everybody's picking actions. The action you pick, you get a bonus for, but everybody's doing the action selected. And finally, at number 21, Hanamakoji, a fun back and forth 2-player game trying to win the favor of Geisha. But with that, thank you so much for watching. We should be back this Friday. I'm not working this Friday to play Baldur's Gate 3, streaming 9 p.m. Central. Best way to know if that happens, though, is to click that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and if you enjoy this content, please give the video a thumbs up, and let me know what game in this group is your favorite and which one would you maybe really love to try. Drop that down in the comment section below. And you can check out the other content that I put out, articles week or most every day over on neurologist.com, videos, ideally getting towards 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, here on Malts and Meeples. And then I also have a Marvel podcast if you're interested in that. 10-Minute Marvel. You can find that here on YouTube, or you can search for it wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcast from. But with that, bottoms up.